We live in a representative democracy organized around capitalist ideals, and we can be grateful for the measures of peace and progress and prosperity we have enjoyed as a result of this structure for our country. But of course, we have our flaws and imperfections, and we also want to be mindful of ways in which the structure could be misleading. We do not want to be deluded. Just because we vote for our leaders and then lobby them for laws and policies, that does not mean that our votes and our lobbying constitute what is true or good or beautiful. And we take advantage of market efficiencies and free enterprise, and that's wonderful, but we do not want to be deluded into thinking that that means that we earned all that has been built up around us. Quite the contrary. You already know this in your family lives. No sane person organizes their family life around representative democracy or around capitalist ideals. My parents would never have let me sell my bedroom to my brother in order to get some quick cash for some project and then be forced to live out in the backyard or some such thing. That's not how life works. It's not even how our country works, which depends so much on the sacrifices of those who came before us, their suffering and their endurance of injustices. But it's not the big picture either. This past Sunday's readings remind us that God is in control and that God feeds his people, that God provides for them without cost, and that God's love prevails over anything that might compete with us, that might seem to compete with God's love. And so we are reminded, even as we are reminded about how much God loves us and cares for us, we are reminded also not to think that this is too much about us, what we do or what we take charge of. That's not in the end how life works. Now, in 3 months we're going to have a general election, and as you might expect, the people of the country are already at times fretting about this thing or that thing, some other point. It seems to be at stake in the election. But you don't be that kind of people. Pursue whatever good you can by political means, but remember that in the end what counts is trust in God, hope in God's promises, and our love for one another, above all things, our love for one another as enjoined by the Lord himself, who gave the example of feeding his people.